Hey yo, salute to all my subscribers and a special shout out to everybody else passing through. YouTube, what's good? So I just stopped through to talk about what I like to call these sayings that we in society we go by. There's a lot of different sayings, and the one I wanted to talk about today is the saying that, or the general perception that time heals everything. I want us to stop saying that because it's not true. There's some truth to it, but I think the majority of people don't realize that as time passes, wounds may heal and then scars are left. But certain wounds that leave certain scars, those scars change you forever. Now, this is referring to physical scars, this is referring to emotional scars, spiritual scars. Time does not heal everything. And it really doesn't necessarily depend on what the wound is, what the scar is, how big or small. It's about the individual. We all internalize things differently. Um, you're dealing with certain situations, and those situations can leave you heartbroken. They can leave you mentally unstable. They can leave you spiritually depleted. And the more time that passes, the easier it may be for you to move on, get through your life, kind of get back up on the horse and keep it moving. But there's some things that change you forever. Um, and in those instances, you can't say that time heals everything. So we need to augment that philosophy a little bit. We need to augment how we feel about the whole time heals all, because it really doesn't. There are people walking around here in everyday relationships and everyday life fucked up behind shit that happened to them years ago, decades ago. Certain people just don't let shit go, and that's not a good, bad, or indifferent thing. People just are who they are. And so when you guys meet each other, when you guys meet people and decide to interact and to get into different relationships with different people, it's very important to have those discussions early on to find out exactly what wounds people are dealing with, because no matter where you meet someone, no matter at what point in their life or in your life you meet someone, they are nursing a wound of some kind. Doesn't matter what it is, it could be anything, but you want to have the discussion, you want to talk about those different things and those different wounds that they are nursing. And if you pay attention and if you listen and communicate, um, you'll get the information, and then from there you should be able to make a conscious decision as to whether or not you want to be around, especially if a person is still in that process of healing a wound that is fresh, because you don't know how that person is going to be on the other side of those healed scars, those healed wounds, and that healed pain and that past hurt. Even if you're with someone and they're one way, and then something happens, whether it be something that happens in the course of that relationship or outside of the relationship, if that relationship continues from that point, and you start to notice over time subtle changes in that person, it could be from those scars. It could be from that pain, that hurt that was caused. And as it heals, people adopt and develop different outlooks on life, different perspectives on relationships, and different things. That's why, I don't live by the moniker that time heals all. I don't live by the moniker that, the more time passes, if someone decides that they want to, let's say, continue in a relationship where in that current relationship there was a great amount of pain caused to that person, be very careful. You may want that person to stick around, even if you're the person that caused them that pain. They may be willing to forgive you and stick around, but just understand and be prepared for the fact that over time, that hurt that you caused that person could lead to them changing certain aspects of themselves. Might not necessarily be conscious, might not even be something that they're doing on purpose. But things change people. If you're a person who's about forward progress, you're a person who's about evolution, you're a person who's about growing, and as you get older, becoming wiser, becoming smarter, then things should change you. Um, as time heals wounds and scars and emotional stress and spiritual anguish, you should come out of that a different person. Some people come out for the better, some people come out for the worse, but you should come out different one way or another. And sometimes those differences can lead you to grow apart from even the people you care about. So I just thought through to let y'all know that. Be more mindful of the people you're dealing with. Be more mindful of the things you do to people, because even if you're angry with someone in a moment and you decide to do something that you know is going to cause them pain in that relationship, be prepared, because even if that relationship does not end, which a lot of people aren't able to look past, they think if they get past that mistake and they apologize and that person says they're willing to forgive them, and that relationship continues, and there may be good times, but some people just never let certain things go, and you can't blame them for that. That's a person's prerogative. If they choose that something that you did to them is bad enough that they never want to let it go. You know, pain and strife teaches us to trust differently and to move differently and to react in certain situations differently, so that we never have to experience those pains and those heartbreaks again. And that just is what it is. So love each other, care about what you do, be careful even in your moments where you're upset or jealous or you know, feeling a little bit vengeful. Just be careful how you move, unless you plan to walk away from that relationship if shit goes bad. If you want to stay in that relationship, if you're not willing and ready to let that relationship go, then be careful what you do, because the very next thing you do to that person that cares about you, that you care about, you know, you decide to start acting like you're single even though you're still in a relationship, and that person finds out, be prepared to walk away from that relationship, because even if that relationship continues, you may never be able to live that shit down. Anyway, let me know what y'all think about this one. I'll see y'all on the next one. I don't pretend to know everything. I just know what I know, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace and love.